BCX Disrupt Summit is an annual conference held in South Africa and hosts some of the world's most compelling leaders, entertainers, artists, and technologists. For 2 brain-busting days, the Heavy Chef crew were given unfettered backstage access to hang out with luminaries such as Gladwell, will.i.am, and Jane McGonigal at one of the finest conferences we'd ever attended. One of the finest people in amongst all those luminaries was a fine gentleman named Charlie Ayers, a chef based in San Francisco. Charlie is probably best known as the chef who fed Google, the guy who helped shape Google's famous culture long before they became the behemoth they are today. Charlie is also famous for feeding the lead singer of the Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia, as well as Apple founder Steve Jobs. But what I specifically wanted to find out from Charlie is how important culture is to startups and what lessons we can apply down here in Africa. I'm super excited because today we're going to be talking to Charlie Ayers, best known as the chef who fed Google. Now, Charlie joined Google in 1999, which is 1 year after the company started, and he talks about having attended his interview where there were 18 people in the company, and when he started cooking there were 50, and the time space was about 2 months. So that just shows the rate at which Google grew in the early years. Now, what's most interesting about Charlie is he's obviously played the role of a fly on the wall to Google's initial culture development. We don't believe that it would be fitting to say welcome to South Africa in English, so wamkelekile ku South Africa. Siyavuya kangaka ukukwazi ukuthetha nawe namhlanje, so enkosi kakhulu for ixesha yakho. So if I could do a cross handshake, I would, but you're too far away. So we can try. Go like this, and like that, and like that. So that's a very African way of saying hello.
All right, I'll bring that back to the States.
You were first employed by Google in 1999. I believe you attended an interview with Google in 1998. And you did so with Sergey and Larry. What was your first impression of Larry when you met him?
Well, when I first met Larry, I didn't realize it was Larry. I had interviewed with them while they were still above the bicycle shop on University Avenue in Palo Alto. There's maybe 18 people in the company at that point. They knew they needed a chef. I'm about to take the elevator from the lobby to go upstairs. Elevator door opens and this guy comes bouncing out on like one of these bouncy balls that like a child plays on, you know? One big bouncy ball with a handle. Bounces on by, goes out the door. I'm like, huh. That was my first impression of Larry. Then I go upstairs and see, you know, the handful of people up there in this small office, and there's Lego toys and erector sets and all kinds of children's games and things going on in there. I'm like, am I in the right place? And then, you know, they told me they needed a chef. I'm like, you need a chef here? I said, most of the best restaurants in this town I've opened that are on the street level down below. And I was interviewing with Sergey at that moment. And in his very Russian voice, he was like, no, one day we were going to be tens of thousands of employees and we won't be anywhere near a downtown area, and we need to have a chef that's going to grow with us and understand our culture.
Having worked at so many companies across Silicon Valley and some massive global corporations, what insights do you have on culture? Firstly, how important is culture in an organization, and what role does food play in creating a culture within an organization?
Culture is one of the most important things. It's the glue to the company. And if you first need to have a leader that is going to convey that to the lower management to make sure that they're instilling that and bringing that to the lower ranks and getting everyone involved, and where everyone needs to realize every role in the company is equally as important as being the CEO or the vice president. And everyone has to believe in the whole thing. Everyone needs to drink the Kool-Aid. And if there's a breakdown in there and someone doesn't really quite believe in it, and they're just, you know, giving, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll do it, it's very apparent. And you'll see that those parts of the company be weaker than the other parts of the company, where the companies need to have internal cheerleaders, you know, to boost that morale and get everyone to believe in why you're doing what you're doing, because it's one goal, to be successful. So this was a big sign that I had made by the print shop on property, in the cafe, that Larry never wanted the media ever to see. And it was a sign that I had made up that said, a company that eats together makes money together. And it was just something that, yeah, everyone had an opportunity to sit down and exchange ideas where they normally wouldn't. Because we had the big long cafeteria tables. It wasn't little single tables where you could have little cliques of people. The mail girl sat right down next to the CEO, next to the VP of technology, and everyone had open conversation. And it was, I think it's a great way of cross-pollinating a company and giving it the playing field to operate on it and be successful. Food brings people together.
As someone who's fed many famous executives from Google to Apple, including Mr. Steve Jobs, and Facebook, what does the term health mean to you?
That's a good question. Half my menu is vegetarian at my restaurant, and I pretty much serve California cuisine, Latin Asian influences. It's energizing. It revitalizes you. It gives you the stamina and the endurance to go throughout the day when you eat properly and you eat healthfully. I've watched many of the executives over the years go from an omnivore diet to a vegan diet. I've watched many of them do it, and I think a lot of it is because they're just so stinking rich. They have something to live for. But they all. Steve Jobs was the same way. I knew him for 4 years before he passed away. He would come and eat breakfast at my restaurant every morning, and we weren't open for breakfast. And because he thought he could heal himself, pancreatic cancer. These guys are so brilliant, and they become so powerful, and they want immortality. They want to live forever. Just like the way David Rockefeller, who just passed away recently. That guy was like the devil. He kept getting different body parts to continue living, So I think it's, they now see, it's got to be a power thing, really, truly.
I spent around an hour with Charlie, and we spoke about his many adventures with Larry, Sergey, and other Silicon Valley superstars like Sheryl Sandberg and Marissa Mayer, not to mention rock legends like Bob Weir and John Mayer. The BCX Disrupt Summit was amazing, but all the more so for meeting the humble and very chilled Mr. Ayers. I look forward to attending again in the years to follow. Be sure to check out our fascinating interviews with other BCX Disrupt speakers like the amazing Malcolm Gladwell. And of course, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Peace out.
Say something clever.
Extremely clever.
Extremely clever.